So you sitting way down in that hole.
Well, that makes us about the same size. Do you notice that? Yeah. Hello, peeps.
Mommy.
Hey, peeps. We thought we would get on here and talk to you a little bit about, and I have a special guest star today, my wife, Beth.
And the puppies.
And the puppies. We thought we'd talk to you a little bit about how we've moved over the years and what the average American does versus what we've done. We've been married for a little over 30 years, and we have moved, we counted it this afternoon, 15 times in 30 years. Now, most of our friends pencil us in because they say we move so much. However, I just read an article that specifically indicates the average American moves 11.7 times in their lifetime. Now, Beth and I were talking about this, and I don't think that we're an average American because we moved 15 times in 30 years. But that's just been the 30 years we've been married. And if I go back and think about all the times I moved when I was a young adult, we're probably double that. At least I am. And what about you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, the reasons vary about why people move, right? I mean, we've moved for a number of different reasons. I can remember that we moved from the first house we had when we got married because, Beth, you wanted a bigger house, didn't you?
Oh, from Woodrow Street?
Yeah, from Woodrow Street, yeah. So we had 2 children, and it was a 1,100 square foot house. It just wasn't big enough for us, right? So we decided we moved to a bigger house, and we did, and it was nice. And then I got laid off, and we had to move from there to Charleston, South Carolina, and we moved to an apartment there, which was smaller than the big house. But again, it was nice. But then I got laid off from that job. And we moved back to Columbia, and actually to Pillion, South Carolina, and moved into a trailer, into a mobile home. That wasn't so nice, but it was okay.
It was a nice mobile home. We just didn't like living that far out. It was like 10 miles from the school and 10 miles to a gas station and 10 miles to the grocery store.
It was way out in the country. And, I think the thing that I didn't like the fact that I had such a big yard to take care of.
2 acres.
2 acres. So then we bought a house over in Irmo, and we moved there. And I don't know. There's been so many houses, and for one reason or another, we've moved from one house to another, whether it's to go to a bigger house or a newer house, or because we were in the process of going to a house. One time we moved from our house to an apartment as an interim step in going to a new house.
It's because we kept our house and rented it, and the renter wanted to get in before we were able to get into the house we were having built. So we had to move into an apartment in the interim.
Oh, and as a side, I have this cup. You see what it says? Right? Beth didn't give it to me. I didn't buy it for myself. A friend of ours gave it to me, and I told Beth, I said, is she trying to say something about the way things are? She obviously doesn't know me very well. Anyway, so yeah, we had a number of different, and when we sold one house recently, I say recently, it's been 3 years ago?
2 years.
2 years ago. No, it's been longer than that. We've been on here almost 2 years. I was talking about Lofty Pine.
We sold Lofty Pine in 2021.
Yeah, so it's been like 3 years ago. And we sold that house and we made some money on it, and that was great. But it was a big house, and we really didn't need such a big house. So then we decided we'd move to an apartment, and we stayed in an apartment for about 10 months and built another house. And that was a smaller house, really nice, kind of new. The one story, beautiful house. The yard wasn't all that great, but the house was pretty good. So then we decided we'd buy this house. And the reason we bought this house was because we're about a quarter of a mile from my grandbaby and my children. And so it made sense to us to move over here. Beth wanted to be closer to the grandbaby. And so that made sense to us. But to kind of talk about what the average American does, right? So this article on MSN.com was talking about it, and it was saying, it was giving some reasons why people move so much, right? So when you figure at age 4, your parents decide they want to move to a town with better schools, bigger yards, that's one. Then 12, your parents get a job in another town, so the family moves with them. And we did that before too, right? We moved to Arkansas at one point. At age 22, after college, you move into a different city for you to start your career. That makes sense. At age 26, the career's going well, so you move to a larger apartment in the same city. Number 5, at 29, you get married and move to a different apartment with your spouse. At age 33, the impending birth of your second child necessitates a move to a starter home house in the suburbs. Then at age 38, your career success allows you to move up, so you move to a larger home, same town. And then at age 60, after the children have left and you decide, well, okay, we're going to, downsize and go to another house. That's what we did when we bought the small house before this one. So you buy a smaller, less expensive home. And then at age 68, you and your spouse decide, well, even the smaller house is not, we want to move to a warmer climate and a smaller house to really downsize. And then at 75, the smaller house is even not good enough. It's too much maintenance. And so you move to a retirement home. So that's 11 times, right? That's what the average American does. We're not average Americans. We're not American. No.
We were going to downsize one time, and we downsized to a larger house.
Speak up a little bit so they can hear you.
Okay. We were going to downsize at one time, and we downsized to a larger house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
with the pool.
Right. Well, here's the thing. When we were talking about downsizing at that point, and the reason that we went and bought another house at that point anyway was because our children were living, my grandbaby and her parents were living in a really bad neighborhood. And we wanted to get them in a townhome, and it was really a bad situation. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to get them out of that, and we thought, well, we could rent them our home if we bought another home. So we did. We rented our children the home for 5 years, 6 years, something like that. So we rented to them for this amount of time until they could get their credit good enough to go ahead and buy the home. And it worked out really well. And they still live, and that's one of the reasons we bought this home, was to be close to where that home was, which we used to, we had that home for
since 2003.
About 21 years was what we ended up having that home for. We rented it out a lot of the time. Wasn't really my cup of tea as far as the house was concerned, but we kept it up really well. And we had renters that didn't really care for it. Frankly, they talk about how, if you want to make money, passive income for your retirement, you should do rental. Beth and I just agreed.
We're just not landlords.
No.
We're just not.
Being a landlord sucks. Not good. On another subject, by the way, if you wonder why I wear hats, if you've seen my other videos, especially the first one where I'm not wearing a hat, my hair is getting really thin. So I kind of like to cover that up with a chapeau. But the thing is, I could cut it all off, but my dear wife doesn't seem to like that idea. I don't know why.
I like Kojak, but only in the movies.
Okay, you heard it here. She likes Kojak, but only in the movies. But So here's a question for you peeps, right? Comment below and tell me, should I cut my hair completely off and go bald altogether? Or should I leave it and just continue to wear my chapeaus? So we're looking forward to your comments, I guess. And but yeah, we moved around a lot, and it's okay. It's okay. I tend to look forward rather than going back and looking back. And I know on some of these videos, hey puppy. Yeah. I know on these videos I've been kind of going over our history, but I like to look back and think about the history and the history of our families. That's okay. But I don't have a lot of regrets about the things I've done, right? In fact, if I had one regret, it's that I didn't do YouTube earlier in my life. I actually started my YouTube channel, I want to say, when I was 50 years old, which has been 13 years ago. Maybe it wasn't quite that long ago.
You did?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And maybe it was 9 or 10 years ago. Anyway, it's been a while. I started the YouTube channel and I put a video out, and I couldn't get monetized for it because it had other people's music in it, right? Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed the process of putting the video up there. I just never really thought about, well, I should monetize on this. I was trying and get my channel going. So I never really did anything with it. I would highly recommend that anyone our age, or even a little younger or a little older, doesn't matter, right? If you think that you would like to have some extra income in the future, YouTube is the way to do it, mm-hmm. right?
Absolutely. We have many that we follow that have been so encouraging, and that's why we're trying to keep on going. We're keeping on.
Yeah. Shout out to Rob and Allie mm-hmm. on Grounded Life. Mm-hmm. You should definitely tune into them mm-hmm. when you're not tuning into us. So, and I'm gonna ask you to please like, share, and subscribe if this video was of any interest to you, because that will help our channel grow. Mm-hmm. And we have actually 4 channels. We have Morgansoft, which is a lot of AI stuff and a lot of science and technology. Yeah. And then we have a Spanish channel, which I'm still trying to get videos onto. And then we have the Home and Family, which is what this is going to be on. And then we have Morgansoft Travel. Well, it's not Morgansoft Travel anymore. It's Suitcases and Savings.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it's called. Suitcases and Savings.
You changed it.
I did change it, yes. So, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you back soon.